This session is about salary negotiation, specifically, the conversation structure that consistently produces better outcomes. We will cover every stage: how to open, how to anchor, how to handle pushback, and how to close with something in writing. Most salary negotiations fail before the conversation starts. The person walks in without a specific number in mind, relies on their manager's goodwill, and accepts the first response. These are structural failures, not personal ones. Timing is underrated. The best moment to negotiate is after a visible win, a project delivered well, a client retained, a problem solved. The worst moment is when the company has just announced poor results or when your manager is under pressure. The same ask, 6 weeks apart, can have entirely different outcomes. Anchoring is the single most important technique in salary negotiation. The first specific number mentioned in a negotiation sets the psychological frame for everything that follows. If you say 12 and they were thinking 10, you start from 12. If they say 10 and you wanted 12, you start from 10. Always name your number first. Never give a range. I'm looking for between 60 and 70, means you will be offered 60. The top of your range is your aspiration. The bottom is what they hear. Pick a number that reflects your target plus headroom, and state it as a number, not a range. Come with market data. Check LinkedIn salary, Glassdoor, or ask a recruiter what the role pays in your city for your level of experience. Data converts your number from a personal preference into a market observation. That is a fundamentally different conversation. The opening script is straightforward. Set the context briefly. What has changed since your last review? What you have delivered? Then state your ask directly. Based on my contributions over the past year and what the market is paying for this role, I'm looking to move to pound X. Say the number. Stop. After you name the number, stop talking. This is the hardest discipline in negotiation. The silence that follows creates pressure on the other person to respond. Most people fill the silence by immediately softening their ask, lowering the number, adding caveats, apologizing. Do not do this. Let the silence work. The budget isn't there is the most common response to a salary ask. It means, not now, not without escalation, or not at that number. It does not mean never. Your response: when will the budget be there? What would need to be true for this to move? This reframes the conversation from a closed door to a timeline. After every salary conversation, send an email that summarizes what was discussed and agreed. Even if the outcome was a deferral, as discussed, we'll revisit my compensation in Q3. My expectation at that point is pound X. Without this email, the conversation has no accountability. Managers are managing multiple people. Your priorities are not automatically theirs. If they offer less than you asked for, do not immediately accept or walk out. Say, I appreciate the offer. I was at pound X. Is there flexibility, or is there a timeline to bridge the gap? This keeps the conversation open and signals that you are serious without creating a confrontation. Ask for 24 hours to consider any offer or counteroffer. This is not a stalling tactic. It is standard professional practice. It also gives you time to assess whether the offer reflects a genuine budget constraint or a test of how committed you are. A competing offer is a powerful negotiating tool, only if you would genuinely take it. If you have received an offer and you would consider it, say so directly. I've received an offer for pound X. I'd prefer to stay here if we can get to that number. Is that possible? Do not bluff. If they call it and you stay anyway, you have destroyed your leverage in every future conversation. When base salary is fixed, negotiate the rest. Notice period buyout, start bonus, remote work policy, performance review date, additional leave, training budget, hardware, or title. Total compensation is rarely just the base. Understanding what else is on the table often reveals more flexibility than the headline number. If you are given a not now, let's revisit next year, turn the deferral into a commitment. Ask, what specific criteria would need to be met for the answer to be yes in Q3? Get those criteria confirmed in your follow-up email. Vague promises have no accountability. Specific conditions do. If the answer is no and no timeline is offered, ask one more question. What would need to change for this to be possible? The answer tells you whether the obstacle is budget, performance, market rate, or something else entirely. Each answer requires a different response. Without asking, you do not know which problem you are solving. The annual review cycle is the least effective time to negotiate, despite what most people assume. Budget allocations are often decided before reviews happen. Waiting for the formal cycle means negotiating after the money has already been committed. Raise the conversation 6 to 8 weeks before the review cycle opens. The highest leverage negotiation is at the point of accepting a job offer before you have joined. At that stage, the employer has decided they want you. Their cost of starting over is high. Your leverage is at its peak and will never be higher. Most people accept the first number. That single decision shapes every future salary at that company. Every salary you accept compounds forward. If you accept 10% below market, your next raise is calculated on that lower base. The gap between what you settle for and what you should be earning widens with every underpaid year. Negotiating seriously now is not just about this job. It is about the trajectory of every job that follows. That is the full conversation structure. Request in writing. Anchor high with a specific number. Handle pushback with questions. Confirm every outcome in email. The full article with the exact scripts is at realsyllabus.com. Negotiating is a skill. It improves with practice, and the cost of not practicing it is paid for decades.